and welcome back to Concert Critiques in Cars with Emily. So I'm actually really excited about this show. I've seen this band as a headliner before, and I absolutely fell in love with them, so I was really looking forward to seeing them. I really like their new album, and on top of that, I bought a ticket for the meet and greet. And I didn't realize that this meet and greet was kind of special. It wasn't just like a, hi, how are you, take your picture, goodbye. The lead singer / guitarist of this band actually kind of like did a guitar demo in a way. He talked about, how his music writing process, and just like kind of showed us like chords that he usually played and how he tuned his guitars. So that was actually really, really, really cool. I was not expecting that. And it definitely made me appreciate parts of the show way more than I would have if I hadn't been there. So anyway, let me tell you what band I'm talking about now that I've gone on about their awesome meet and greet. So the show was Tiny Moving Parts as the headliner, and then Fredo Disco was the second opener, and Standards was the first opener. So let's get into it. The show was at Rock and Roll Hotel, and again, I had to be there early, so fortunately I left early enough. The traffic really wasn't that bad, and of course I parked in my normal parking spot for free, so that was nice. Was able to find parking. So again, the meet and greet was cool, and while it did definitely impact certain aspects of the show, I'm going to try not to bias this review just because I bought a special ticket, which definitely was awesome, and it was really fun, and I'm really glad that I went and got to experience that. So, Standards. So Standards had no lyrics, which I thought was pretty cool. So it was a guitarist and a drummer. And so, yeah, that was definitely something that was a little bit different from what I may be used to. But it was awesome. It was really cool to hear rock without words. So it was funny. The guitarist was really funny in between songs. So he talked about how they were in Charlotte recently, and he insulted them because he didn't know which Carolina it was in, and when he asked, people were really mad. And then he also said that he thought that they were a landlocked state. So yeah, it was kind of funny. But yeah, so I really liked the guitar. It was really impressive, and even the drums were really impressive. To see both of them playing was really cool. And I definitely think if I had heard them before I had seen them, I may not have enjoyed their music as much, just because you don't get to see how quickly and just how crazy his fingers are moving. So yeah, that was a really cool thing. So I'm glad I got to see them live before I go and listen to their music. I really liked the second song, which apparently was called Pineapple. The end of the second song in particular was really awesome. And someone actually brought a pineapple, so clearly a Standards fan, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, and so even then afterwards, he brought back the fact that he was oh, well, at least we're not in North Carolina. So that was pretty funny that it was a running joke in a way. So I really liked that. I thought that was cool. Really loved the opening of their fourth song. And then they threw a Frisbee out with their logo on it to the crowd. So that was kind of a cool touch, a little thing. And then they played their last song, but it actually ended up not being their last song because I guess people were yelling Tangerine. And so I don't know if they actually ended up playing that or not, but he was I'm just going to play another song. And man, let me tell you, that last song was just impressive. His fingers were moving, and then his thumb was going across the thing. It was just insanely incredible. And he even said this is a hard song. And man, let me tell you, just mind-blowingly good. It was really, really well done. Really liked how impressive that set was, for sure. So then Fredo Disco, I loved their first song. I thought it was really good. Nice lyrics, really fun way to start the show, upbeat, super cool. So I really liked that. I was in the front row, so again, sometimes it's hard to tell if it's just because I can actually hear the instruments by themselves. That makes it difficult to hear the singer, or if the sound was just not good, or the mic that they were using wasn't good, but it was definitely difficult to understand the lyrics, especially when all of the instruments were playing. So that was really disappointing because I really loved the first song, and I really liked the lyrics too. And I think a lot of their lyrics were probably similar, because the lyrics that I could hear, I did enjoy for the most part. So yeah, definitely gonna have to check them out digitally. But it's funny because then after their set, someone in the crowd had been like, oh yeah, like actually it's the same on their recordings. You can't really hear sometimes. So that's interesting to me, and I definitely am gonna now check them out just to see if that was correct or not. The fourth song had like a lot of cool variations on how it was sang. And so I really liked that. I liked that there was like some differences, and there were like fast parts and slower parts and kind of like talking parts. So I really liked that. I thought that was cool. He broke a guitar string, so we had to switch guitars, which obviously was not a preference. And there was definitely some mechanical error in terms of like on the soundboard what guitar was being played. And eventually, like a couple songs later, they fixed it, but that was definitely something that had happened during the show that was probably not expected and probably wouldn't normally happen on a normal night. Then they played a brand new song, which is coming out in 2 days, so that was kind of cool, and I really liked that song, so I'm like really looking forward to it. I like am actually like super pumped, and that actually could be my review for my song surveys on Sofa, so we'll see. After that, they played a song about college, and I really liked the lyrics, and it was much easier to understand these lyrics, so I really, really did like them. And then the last song was a roller coaster. There were parts that I was just like, blah. I was like very unfocused and kind of had lost my interest. But then there were parts that definitely grabbed me back in. Like at one point, they technically have 3 guitars. So the lead singer plays like an acoustic electric guitar. And then there's 2, I said electric, that's probably very wrong. Please do not judge / just take my word for that. I don't know instruments at all. But the other 2 definitely had electric guitars. And the one had a mic in front of him, so then like randomly the other one that didn't have the mic in front of him jumped in front of the other guy's mic and like sang one line, and it was great, and I really liked that part. And it was just like those little things that were really cool about that song. But then there were just like stretches of it, and again, it's probably because I couldn't actually understand the lyrics that I just kind of was like, all right, I'm ready for this to be done. So I was a little disappointed with that last song. I was excited about it, and I wish that I could have heard their lyrics more clearly, because I think that would have made a huge difference and would have made me like them even more. But I am definitely interested to see what their set sounds like. Excuse me. Then we get to Tiny Moving Parts. So the first time I saw them, I barely knew them, and their set list that they played was just super phenomenal. Loved every moment of it. It was really great. So my expectations were pretty high, I'm not gonna lie. I was really looking forward to it. I really like their new album. Definitely wish I would have listened to it through more, but I definitely have picked my favorites and have listened to those a lot. So they started with Midwest Sky, which I definitely recognized and had heard, but I didn't know as well as some other songs from their previous albums. But yeah, like once the chorus and the bridge came in, I was like, oh yeah, this is that song. So it was awesome. Everyone was really excited, lots of jumping around. Then after that, they played Applause, followed by Headache. And so both of these songs, I, again, like didn't really know as well. And so, again, I kind of maybe picked my favorites off of Swell, their previous album, and maybe that's why I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. And again, I recognized a lot of these. Like Applause, I recognized right away, and Headache, I definitely recognized. But after seeing the meet and greet, I totally appreciated the guitar in a like totally different way in Headache, and it was so fantastic and just really made that song much better, especially because again, I didn't really know them. I recognized them for sure, but didn't know like the lyrics by heart like I did for some of their other songs. Then he talked about their new album, and they played Bloody Nose, which was just like so lose your mind, crazy good, so fun to see, just awesome. Yeah, really great. And then after that, they played Sundress, and again, that's another song that I didn't really know, but a lot of people knew it, so that was exciting. And then they played Cold Tonight, which I definitely didn't know. But I really, really liked the variations and like the lyrics. It was just so good. Again, I really like when there's like differences and like kind of like you get those ups and downs. And so I thought they did a really excellent job, and it was just like a great song, and the lyrics were fantastic, and it was really, really good. So I really enjoyed that. Then they played another song that I didn't know, and I don't even know the title of it because wasn't available to me at the time. Starts with Always Forever. And then they played Birdhouse, which excuse me. Again, I know that song, I definitely recognized it, but I won't lie, it was kind of hard to understand, and a lot of times when the lyrics were difficult to understand, it's just because the lead singer like jumps around like all the time. I mean, like goes crazy, which is awesome and super fun. And it was funny because before at the meet and greet, I sweat a lot, and boy, he was not lying. He sweats. But it's because he jumps around, and it's amazing. Like any second he is not singing, he is not by the mic because he is in the middle of the stage and he's, you know, interacting with the crowd. So it was awesome to see, and it was really fun. But definitely at points he's like even just jumping up and down at the mic, and it was definitely hard to understand. But again, a lot of these songs, the expectation is that everyone knows the lyrics, so it wouldn't have been that hard to like piece together what was supposed to be saying. But as I said before, I didn't know all of these songs by heart, so yeah. But Birdhouse was super fun, but again, pretty much couldn't understand like half the lyrics because he was just jumping around, which was awesome, and I really had a lot of fun with that song, and so did the crowd. Oh my gosh. So then after that they played Brevity, and so glad they played that song. I wanted to hear it so bad, and I know that they made a video for it, so I was like, I'm hoping that this is a sign that they like the song and they're planning to play the song and kind of make the song big. Love the song, really cool seeing it live. And again, it's like when you hear it, it's kind of like their slower song or one of their slower songs on the album, but just seeing it live with all that energy like packed behind it was incredible. I really enjoyed that song. I was so glad they played it. And then they played Icicles, which was actually a really fantastic follow-up to that song. It was just fantastic, and I also I like that there was the cold theme in both of those songs, so that just worked out really well. But yeah, so I really liked that as a follow-up. And then after that they played Common Cold, which I didn't actually know. I don't even know that I recognized it, but boy did I love those lyrics. So fantastic. Really great threesome, like such a good three songs in a row. Really great. And then they played even 3 better songs in a row. So then they played Medicine, which I love the guitar in the bridge, and again he kind of talked about that beforehand, so that was definitely an awesome moment to kind of have a little bit of prior knowledge and then go in and see that, so that was awesome. They played Feel Alive, which was just such a great follow-up, super fun. The crowd was going crazy. And then they end with Vertebrae, which is my favorite song off their current album. So fantastic. Loved every second of that song. Like, the crowd definitely was like super crazy. Awesome. Just so good. And so for Vertebrae, they actually brought the guitarist from Standards back out. Excuse me. So that was pretty cool. So they brought him back out on stage. So fun live, really fun to see. And then they left for an encore, and they came out for one more song, which I secretly was hoping they would play 2. I really wanted to see Warm Hand Splash, but it's fine. I got to see it the first time I saw them, and that's like the song that made me fall in love with them, so I really can't complain. But yeah, I would have loved to see that song. And then of course they played their biggest hit, which is Caution. So fantastic. Yeah, so before they started playing, I guess I'm assuming they had to tune their instruments, so the drummer did like a mini drum solo, which was not like super impressive. I think he was kind of just waiting for them to be done, but that was kind of just like a random thing. And then of course they started playing Caution, and that was like, oh my god, the crowd was so crazy, and it was really fun, and that's just such a great song, and it was really fun to see that song again. And yeah, so right at the end, right before he finished, the guitarist / lead singer just jumped into the crowd with his guitar and just like played it while we were all like around him, so that was pretty fun. It's a cool way to end the show. And then he jumped back on stage, and then that was it. Alright, so time for the score. Okay, loved the opener. Was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And honestly, maybe them not having singers that I didn't because when I can't understand lyrics, that kind of definitely would make me lose points. I really, really liked it. There was pretty much no low in that first opener. I really loved pretty much all of it. It was funny banter, really like interesting music, and just like super impressive to see him play that guitar. I mean, so impressive. So that was really cool too. So then for the second opener, definitely not being able to hear the lyrics was a huge low for me in general. And also the last song, that like roller coaster of like not being able to pay attention and then like suddenly being grabbed. So that was probably the lows, but I like really loved a lot of their songs. That first song like totally pulled me into the set, and again, I had never heard them before, but it was awesome. Like I was totally in it from that like first note of that first song. And again, they had like some songs that were really great, and even just parts of songs that I really liked. All right, tiny moving parts. Sometimes it was a little bit hard to understand the lyrics just because of constant movement, which again, not complaining about in general, just because like seeing somebody jump around on stage is super awesome and entertaining, so I really like that. I thought they had really nice choices, especially towards the end. I really liked the group of three with excuse me, that started with Brevity, and then the group of three that ended the show with Medicine and Vertebrae. I'm so glad they ended the show with Vertebrae and then came back and did Caution. Thought that was really great. Yeah, I mean, again, like the only low would be probably being pushed by the crowd, which again isn't the band's fault, and yeah, just like occasionally not being able to hear their lyrics. So I think I'm gonna give this show, I'm gonna give it a 9.0. I really enjoyed it, and again, it's just, they are such a fun band to see live. Next time I see them, maybe I wouldn't do front of the pit, but again, I met them, so I got early access, so I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just stand at the stage. And I wish they would have played Warm Hand Splash, because I love that song really so much. But overall, yeah, I think 9.0 is a good score, because again, it was a great show. Really loved the openers. Can't wait to explore more of their music. So let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Were you there? Did you want to go? Have you been to a show in a different city? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.